I feel like the reason why the reason why the black community should value mental health is because I feel like for so long we have been identifying certain, mental health challenges and trauma as personality traits. It'll be the equivalent to like, oh, your uncle, that's just how he is, or your grandma, your auntie, that's just how they are. They're angry, they're mad, or when somebody drinks a lot in our community, we look at it as a personality trait and know there's trauma there. There's something that you know is making that person act that way, think that way. And it affects relationships. It affects your relationships, if you have kids, with your kids, your parents, your friends, stuff like that. And for so long, we've just let this, we put this on the back burner, to everything else, money, which is understandable. You got to pay your bills, entertainment, all this different stuff, but we're not valuing our mental health. And I feel like we have to stop, doing those things. We have to value our mental health. It's a very real thing. It's affecting us, and sometimes it even has physical, consequences. Anxiety. If that's not dealt with, you're anxious all the time. You wonder why you're angry all the time. You're anxious. That's anxiety. Or being depressed, or drinking too much, or smoking, and all these addictions, even food addiction. And if we start educating our community on these type of things, I feel like we could be in a way better place for us, and, our kids, our family members and stuff like that. The reason why there's such a big stigma is, we just never been educated on what mental health is. Like, I used to run out of classrooms in 5th grade feeling like I can't breathe, even though I could clearly breathe. I was talking and everything, but I was just scared. I was so scared, and I didn't know what that was, and nobody knew what that was. My mom, teachers, principal, nobody, and it was a year after, looking back, it was a year after my grandfather died, and I seen him on the stairs, lifeless. And that was a little kid. Any day could be your last, just any day. And that fear, turned into anxiety. And, I remember that. I ran out of classrooms, not even want to go to the movies, just because my mind was constantly going, what if, what if, what if? And it wasn't until I was 23, or a mentor of mine told me what anxiety was. Like, oh, you're experiencing anxiety, because I think I had like a mini anxiety attack at that time. And he said, that's anxiety. And I started telling him about, when I was younger, having panic attacks. Yeah, that's anxiety. And I didn't have a word for it. I didn't know what it was, anything. So then you have to think, if I'm going through that, what about people who, because my family was working class, what about people in the streets, or, a young black dude in the streets, in the hood or whatever, or a young black girl like that. If I didn't know what that was, imagine that they don't talk about that. They're not talking about that in their household, and their friends, in their friend group, around their cousins. I didn't, and a lot of us, we don't have the words for what we're feeling. And if you don't have the words for something, if you don't know how to identify these different things, you're just going to look at it as like you're crazy, because that's what I thought, or you're just going to be angry. You're going to be angry and mad and on edge all the time and not even know why. And we have to stop that. We have to know exactly what is going on with us. And then even when you have kids, because you don't want to pass that on. You don't want them to, not know what they're going through or what they're feeling. So we have to end that. We have to stop that. We have to be educated, educate ourselves, and then educate others on that. So this is very, very, very important for us to value mental health and learn about mental health and break down the stigma. We have to stop looking at it as, oh, this person's crazy, or I must be crazy, or calling yourself. I know I remember it used to be a popular thing, and I think still now, to say, oh, I'm bipolar, to say that how crazy you are, how tough you are, whatever, in our community. But we got to stop that, because you don't even know what you're even saying. You don't even know what that word means. What's the definition of that word? Or even online, where everybody's calling each other narcissists. and nobody even knows what it means. Like, learn about what these things mean before you just start shooting these things out, or, you know, calling yourself something. You know, educate yourself on this so that we can help other people and help yourself. And these are things that I'm still working on. I'm not even perfect when it comes to that either. But this is very, very important, and we have to do something.